Welcome to my live stream, if it's working, hopefully. Ah, yes, it's working. All right, what's up? What's up, everybody? Good evening. It's a little bit late. Having a little bit of tough technical difficulties, if you guys could imagine that. So I'm gonna skip this trial over here. And happy Wednesday. It's 11:11. 11:11, and it's almost 11:11 on 11:11. A lot of ones in there. I figure we'll do a little bit of a live stream Q&A again tonight. How cold is it? It's been super warm here. It cooled off a little bit tonight, but yesterday was 80 degrees. The day before that was almost 80 degrees. In fact, all night and morning last night I had my window open. I just closed it. It rained all day today, and it's 52 now. So we dropped almost 30 degrees since yesterday. But I made good use of it. I went skateboarding. Yesterday and the day before. 2 days in a row. Do you know how sore I am right now? I haven't skated in about a year, so doing that. It was fun. I met up with my friend Jay, who, by the way, is in one of my videos. He's my one of my oldest friends, and he's a fire chief, and I put him on a vegan diet. He got his cholesterol under control. He lost about 40 pounds. We did a before and after video. Anyway, we went out and skated in his front yard in his neighborhood for about 2 or 3 hours, and it was just me and him skating at first, and then near the end, and I'll post. I'm gonna post it on my Instagram stories. I just didn't post everything yet, but we had the whole neighborhood out there. All the little kids had their skateboards and helmets out there skating with us by the end of our little session there. So that was pretty fun. But I only took Instagram videos, so I didn't do like video like YouTube videos or anything like that. And then yesterday I met up with another one of my friends, and we skated down at the Everson Museum here in Syracuse, and that was my go-to place to go skate ever since I was like, I don't know, 14, 15, when we could get somebody's parents to drive us down there. We would skate there. And yeah, nice place, nice smooth place to skate. So I skated there yesterday. I didn't realize how sore I was going to be from the day before. So, I skated all right the first day. The second day, yesterday, I was a little bit sore, and I fell straight on my knee because of it. So, yeah. And then we went to Strong Hearts, got some food, and here I am now. So, I traded my skateboard for a hoverboard. I would if I could. It's cold in Vegas. Yeah, I have some friends out there in California too, Southern California, saying that it's been so hot, but lately it's been colder there than it's been here, and this is almost unheard of here in November in upstate New York. In fact, I just posted a picture on my Instagram of the November 8th, because that's the day that I moved to Florida back in 1995, and it was snowing out, and also last year this time it was snowing out, but it's nice now. I posted a video of me, just like a bird's eye view of me skateboarding on like the nice marble skate area thingy at the Everson, and I'll be surprised. More than one of you, a few of you asked me. They thought I was gonna do that TikTok trend, Dreams, by Fleetwood Mac and with the Ocean Spray. So maybe I will do that. Who knows? Yeah, how's everyone else doing tonight? Well, that's my story. Have I been crocheting? No. No, I haven't. I guess I won't know how to make clothing when it comes down to the zombie apocalypse. Hopefully I know somebody that does, though. It's been cold in Australia, too. When I think of Australia, I think of like nice hot weather, so I don't know how your seasons are down there, down under. Oh, there's a werewolf in the background. So yeah, I just spent the last, I don't know, hour trying to get this Streamlabs to work with YouTube, and I finally said screw it, and I'm doing it on my OBS now. So I know a few of you were asking me to do Streamlabs, but you know what? Technology, I just it says pending. I didn't delete or block you. I never delete or block anybody unless maybe one or two people in eternity. No, I definitely didn't block anything. I saw that message. And I didn't do anything to it. I just looked at it and closed it out. Noted. But no, I did not block you. I did not delete it. Nothing. The toilets flush backwards. That's funny. I've heard that, but I've also heard that was like has nothing to do with that's only design. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a myth or debunked. I don't know. It was a nice rainy day. It was a nice fall day. It just looks so like leaves are everywhere. You got the nice colors of fall. I even snapped a few pictures from up here in my office. Um, but yeah, it really reminds me. I guess we could tell some stories of skateboarding. Like I started skateboarding in the late '80s, and and I first started skating with my friend Jay that I skated with a couple days ago. His uncle had a ramp, and his uncle was a real old school skater. So he looked up to him, and then he got like a skateboard and some nice wheels and everything, and we would just ride his little skateboard up and down the driveway, and like literally, oh man, how old I was, maybe like 11 or 12, and that was really fun. But then I kind of quit skateboarding for a minute there, and I started riding BMX. And then a couple years later, I decided that I was a skater. I mean, why couldn't I just do both? But I didn't. I focused all of my time on skateboarding. I think I think I made that decision like I'm just a skater, 100% skater. I saw Gleam in the Cube, the movie with Christian Slater, and it's got a bunch of skaters in it. It's got Tony Hawk, Tommy Guerrero. It's got Rodney Mullen. It's got a ton of people in there, and then that did it for me. I just wanted to be a skateboarder, and then I met some skateboarder friends, and I've already told you the story what happened. For I ended up, I went vegetarian, which turned to vegan. So yeah, and we would skate all the time, like all day, every day. Summer, fall, winter, spring. In the winter, we would find parking garages It was freezing. And, you know, it sucks when you fall anytime it sucks, but when you fall on a cold winter day, it sucks even more. So, um, yeah, we would in the spring when the spring would come, we would take big brooms and go broom and sweep the the road in front of my neighborhood in front of my parents' house. We would sweep to get all that, because up here in the winters, uh, the plows come by and they throw salt, gravel all over the place, and so you got to clean all that up, and then we go out there and we skateboard, and I mean, yeah. And then I moved to Florida and I didn't have to worry about that, and I would skate not all day because it was super hot. I would skate all night. When it got dark out, we would all go skate when it was a little bit cooler, even though it was still hot. Um, so yeah, it's nice to get out there. And and I told my buddy Jay, we used to talk to each other. We'd be like, "Yo, when we grow up, we're never gonna quit skating. We're gonna skate, until we're really old." And here we are, both in our 40s, out there skating. And at the end of our skate session, we had all the little kids because he's got some young daughters, and they put on their. That's the one thing we never did is we never wore helmets. We never wore helmets growing up. I think a lot of people my age or older didn't wear. We didn't wear helmets on our bikes. We didn't wear helmets when we skateboarded, and here I am. I'm fine. But anyway, yeah. So they all had their helmets and their skateboards, and it was pretty nice seeing all the little kids skate. There was probably like, I don't know, maybe like 8 of them from the neighborhood, neighbors and stuff, and they're all out there with their skateboards watching us skate. Hey, can you do this trick? Funny stuff, fun stuff though. Hacky sacks, yeah, I remember hacky. I never really got into. I wasn't good at that. I wasn't good at the hacky sack, but I was good at skateboarding. You landed on your face a few times. I never really got. I'm sore right now. I never really got too hurt skating. I never broke a bone. My brother broke his bones a few times. Mainly snowboarding. He would break his wrist every single time he'd go snowboarding, and he was really good at snowboarding, all kinds of flips and stuff. But he would always come home with a broken wrist. The worst, I don't know. Let's see. I rolled my ankle really bad once where I thought I broke it, but I didn't. And I was going over. We had a ramp. We had like a little launch ramp. It wasn't really that little. It was like as big as we were, and literally we would put it on a couple skateboards and we would roll it down the neighborhood to like the next neighbor's house. But I do have a picture of it somewhere. I don't know where it is. I was actually looking for it the other day to show my friend Jay's daughter. I'm like, hey, you want to see your dad when he was younger than you are now, skateboarding? Um, but yeah, this ramp would come up to here on me. It was pretty big. It was pretty tall, and we would launch over it. And one day I launched over it and I landed like my ankle rolled and I thought I broke it. I was out of commission for like I had a really bad sprain, and I was out of commission for a good month or two, and I would just like watch my friends skate. But anyway, that was probably my worst injury. Ralph, thank you for the super chat. Got your shirt in the mail. Great fit. Are you talking about the new vegan zombie shirt? Because if you are, yeah, go ahead and post it too. If anybody has and you feel comfortable posting it, and tag me on Instagram, I'd love to share them. My friend Cesar got his today too, and he sent me that, and so that's cool. I still haven't picked mine up, so I haven't even seen the final one yet. So I'm still interested in checking that out. What would I do if I saw someone wearing a helmet driving a car? I probably wouldn't do anything. Maybe they're about to launch the car over a bridge or something. Maybe they're doing some hardcore driving. I don't know. Um, then there's this skate park that was built in my hometown. Actually, it was donated by Dave Mira. Dave Mira also went to school with me. Rest in peace. And so anyway, I was there. I don't know how many years ago. not too long ago. Maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. And I was on a ramp, and I literally, I was, when you're falling, like I pretty much, when you skate this long, you kind of know how to fall. So your body just kind of, when you're going to fall, you just let your body kind of turn to jello so you don't really get hurt. But I've been fortunate enough not to break any bones or get too hurt skating. But that day, I was I was falling backwards, and I knew I was gonna fall, and I was like probably 5 or 6 feet in the air, and I fell straight on my back. I was like, I'm literally falling on my back. Like it's all going through my head. I'm like, I'm going to fall on my back, and I did. And I was like, ow, that hurt. I was fine, but yeah, that was. And then another time in Florida, I was skating. We were night skating, and I remember, if anybody is interested in what exactly, some people probably don't know anything about the skate tricks, but if you do, I did a backside flip, and it didn't go all the way around, and I fell backwards on my back, and I had a rock in my. It still might be there. A little pebble was in my back for like years and years and years, and I don't know. I can't really feel it anymore, but maybe they took it out when they gave me back surgery. I don't know. But that was there for a while. Um, anyway, anyone want to change the subject instead of skateboarding? Feel free. You wore your vegan zombie tee yesterday. Awesome. Which one did you get? There's so many right now. So do I think I'm part Pebble? I think I may have been part Pebble. I don't know if it's still there. I don't have anything prepared for the guessing game. So, yeah. I like to come up with new stuff. I feel like I keep recycling stuff. You're wearing the beanie that I have on right now? Awesome. I like this beanie. I've got four different beanies, I think. Yeah, four, three. One. Yeah, the zombie crew, the vegan zombie. No, I got four. I have four. You had to explain my cooking show today? Thank you. Thank you for doing that. I often explain it to people that are wondering what the heck I do. Am I going to make holiday recipes this year too? Uh, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, we just missed it. 11, 11, 11, 11. Oh my god, I missed it by 1 minute. But I do know what I was doing 10 years ago. 11, 11, 11. It was 11, 11, 11. It was 11, 11 on 11, 11, 11. So 9 years ago this minute, I was in Disney World. I was in Disney World. And I had an Android phone, so I took a picture of it because it said it was 11:11 at night. Oh, I also got it 11:11 in the morning. I was on the Disney bus to go downtown Disney, but it was 11:11, 11:11, 11. A lot of 11s. I thought that was cool. I don't think as many people thought it was as cool as I did, but yeah. Anyway. On the West Coast, you can still do the 11:11. Yes, I did, Mantis. Um, I don't know. I don't know actually produce. I've never tasted coffee. I've never had coffee before, so I don't know if I would. How would I make coffee without using coffee? if I ever make vegan zombie stickers, I have some vegan zombie stickers. I've got a few different ones. I got these ones, and I had a few more, but they're out. I had the one that you normally the icon. I don't know. I don't have it up here right now, but it's the one of the zombie guy holding the carrot and the knife in the background with the blues and the orange, the pumpkin in the corner. And I had that same one right here in blue, black, and blue. Yeah, I've had a few stickers, but I currently still have those ones. And I usually, when somebody buys any kind of like t-shirt or anything from me, from my Zombie Crew store, I throw those in the package as well. But I want like more cutout design stickers, like the Zombie Crew one and the Vegan Zombie one, and probably the new design I have if I can get those. Hi Mia. What else? What else? Stickers and pins. I've asked about pins. I need to find somebody that's serious about like if anybody knows a good company to get those through, because obviously I can't make them personally. Let me know. Yeah, I've talked to some different printers about that, but I never really get any answers. I never get, you know, even when you're serious about it, I don't know. It's just weird. I got a dog behind me. What is the T on your website for? Oh, I'm about ready to take those down. Actually, those were when I said I had my Vegan Tea Thursday. Instead of just, you know, getting rid of them, I decided to share them with anybody that wants them. So that's basically that basically covers the you know, the shipping and handling and everything for them. But those are already worn shirts, to let you know. Most of them are not worn too much. Some of them are more than others, and those are my Vegan Tea Thursday shirts. Since I have literally, I got hundreds of them over the last couple years, and I'd like them to go to, you know, they're all size small too, so just be known that they're not like a brand new, never been worn shirts. So yeah, that's what those are. But I'm getting low on those, so I think it's you know, almost time to take those off. I've sold, you know, quite a bit of them, so. I know it's so weird that it's hotter here in upstate New York. It does this every once in a while though. We'll have it'll be warm for a little while. And usually it gets super cold early, which I'm actually surprised, because I thought that, oh man, probably about a month ago I thought that was going to be like I'm like, here I am, this is going to be the last time this year that I have to mow my lawn. But nope, it's warm out, and I need to go do that again, to be honest with you. Let me see what the weather's going to be like the rest of this week, though. Oh, it's getting back into fall weather after today. Yeah, today it got up to almost 70. It was pretty nice today. You know, I had the window open all day, which is not that common for up here. Yeah, I did get rid of most of them. Yeah, that's probably my long-term goal, is the vegan zombie pizza shop. Well, I it's not a matter of leaving them up or taking them. You know, I'm getting very low on them, so they're almost done. You know, I didn't expect people were buying like 3 to 5 at a time, so I'm like, oh, I better adjust that. So don't everybody go at once and go buy them because they are almost gone. I need to adjust that website. Yeah, Vegan Tea Thursday. That was if you didn't know, I would post those every single Thursday, and I didn't miss a single day for I think 2 years. So for 2 years, I did a different. I featured a different vegan T-shirt. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Am I blurry? I just want to make sure this not focusing on this over my face. Or maybe you do want to focus on this over my face. So yeah, Vegan Tea Thursday, a different vegan T-shirt I would promote every Thursday. And wow, I got a lot of T-shirts. 50 degree. Wow, that's colder than it is here by a couple degrees. Well, I don't plan on open the pizzeria anytime soon. That was more of like a long-term goal. And by the way, if I look like I just woke up, I did just wake up. So, not too long ago. First things first, I want to get my movie filmed, edited, produced, and out there for everybody. And then after that, like, we'll see if there's going to be a sequel or anything like that. And then long-term goal, when, can't find anything new like that, then there's the pizza shop. I've always wanted, ever since I was like 17, 18, I wanted to open up a vegan pizza shop. A Lord of the Rings game, like an actual Lord of the Rings, or like a Lord of the Rings type game. Because if that's the case, you should come over and play EverQuest with us. We've been playing that a lot lately, like super, super, a lot. Um, the vegan crew mask doesn't have a wire in the nose part. It doesn't mend to my nose. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's just it's not there's nothing in it. It's just all cloth. So does it not fit right? I I do want to do a pizzeria at one point, but the only problem with that is if I do it, I'm tied down and I'm stuck here, and I don't want that. I want to be able to be free to go do what I want when I want. I love to travel and stuff, and if I had my own restaurant, that wouldn't be the case, at least for a while, and that's not what I want to do. Um, I would love to do it someday, but right now I have other plans, so not anytime soon. It's kind of like a last ditch effort. Like if I have nothing else to fall back on, I'd like to open up the restaurant. So sorry, but unless I come into like winning the lottery, it's not. I'm not gonna. That's not gonna happen anytime soon. Playing tons. Yeah. Hey, if anybody's on the green server, come on over and join us. Join us. Um, I mean, that sounds fun, Lord of the Rings game. But as you can see, like EverQuest is pretty time consuming, and I'm pretty caught up in that right now. So I don't know if I would start a new game right now when I'm doing that. And also, like I'm streaming it most of the nights, and it's for the time frame that I do it. It's probably the most popular stream for EverQuest. So the stream's growing, and I want it to keep growing. GTA, Vice City. Never played any of those games. No, I've never played those. Augie's playing right now. Are you Sangine? in the game. Yeah, that sucked what happened last night. We waited and waited and waited way too long and it never dropped. The ancient Cyclops. I have had the vegan croissants before, but not in a long time. Are you a druid? Are you a druid in the Karanas? What's your name? ID Linner? Relinner? A trucker or trailer moving pizza. That's too much to keep up and be traveling all over the place. I mean, there's always chance to do all kinds of different things on the live stream, but I've noticed if I play any other game other than EverQuest, I don't. There's nobody watches it, really. So I don't know. I think I made a little niche on the game EverQuest. Um, I don't know if you can use the custom UI. You might be able to. I don't know though. I'm probably the wrong one to ask. But if you join my Discord server, there are some people in there that would probably know and let you know. Okay, yeah, you left like I stayed there for you too. Like I was hoping to get three or four of those rings last night and it did not happen. Usually I stream it late at night, and I've been playing through the night into the wee hours of the morning. So anywhere from like midnight to like 7 or 8 in the morning, usually. Um, if I get the time, I'll try to do it earlier. But normally earlier in the day, I'm working on more like vegan zombie stuff. Yeah, I always stream the Twitch and everything on Streamlabs, which I was trying to do tonight. I was trying to stream this on Streamlabs, and it wasn't working for me. And then when I went to go stream, it said you have to put in what game you're playing and everything. And I'm like, I'm not playing a game. I'm twitching, or no, I'm not. I'm going on YouTube. I'm doing my YouTube stream. So finally, I'm just like, you know what? I need to go on. It's getting late, and I just went back to OBS. Oh, I've heard some pretty dumb reasons why people can't be vegan, and it's just like, okay, okay. Oh, I tried it. I tried going vegan, and I got really sick. How long were you vegan? Like I did it for like 3 or 4 days, and I just couldn't do it. I got my doctor. I was really sick, and like, yeah, you didn't go vegan. Right now, I don't play any games other than like EverQuest, and then I have a couple games on PS4, zombie games, and The Last of Us, Days Gone, and Spider Man, and that's it. And I've only played those in EverQuest. Um, um, it was. Oh, you're a Necro too. I'm a Necro too. So this is kind of crazy. I was twitching the other night, and it was like really late, maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm twitching EverQuest, and all of a sudden somebody on there says, "Hey Chris, it's Matt from my hometown," and I'm like, "Matt, give me more information because I know a few Matts," and he tells me, I'm like, "No way, you got to be kidding me!" Like this is my friend that I went. This is a friend that was there the very day that I went vegetarian. We went vegetarian together 30 years ago, and it was at his house that it happened. And he's one of my friends that we did ninjutsu. There was three of us. He's the one that did ninjutsu with us, and we all went vegetarian that day. And I haven't talked to him in forever. He doesn't live here anymore, and he's not on Facebook, so I've lost touch with him completely. And he's talking to me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, but anyway, long story short, we caught up and everything on this Twitch stream, and so he plays, and I guess he's part of like the team for the beta version of this game uh, called Star Citizen, and it's a space game. It looks really cool. He sent me a bunch of trailers for it, so he wants to get me to play that with him on the beta. So that looks pretty cool, and it's kind of like EverQuest in the sense that it's like all these different people playing at once in a big, not world, but like universe. So that sounds pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. Everybody makes a difference. Everybody makes a difference because everybody in some way inspires another person or persons in their life, which is a trickle effect. It's a like everyone says they can't give up cheese. Yeah, the tattoo I gave myself in my hand, it wasn't this friend. I have two friends. It was three of us. It was the other guy that did the tattoo on his hand. This one, he didn't do that. He did not tattoo his hand. Yeah, I'm always on the chat font size 5 too. Kamek boots? Oh, I usually put it on 5, but maybe 6 would be even better. I started on blue a few years ago, and I ended up quitting. And then I started again on green, and here I am a year later. Yeah, I've said the same exact thing of what you just wrote. It's like we're all different. You're right. We are all different, but we're all a human species, and we can. It's agreed on by the science. The science shows it. This isn't like my bias. It's not my opinion. It's the science shows it. We can all thrive on a proper plant-based diet. Every human can do that. And I've seen people say like, "Well, I'm got this rare thing where like I can't eat any. I only can eat meat." And I'm like, okay, go to a different doctor if he really said that. I feel like it's blurry. Like it looks blurry to me. But you guys said it looks fine, so. Oh yeah, if you can help me with Streamlabs, that would be awesome. Yeah, get at me after this, and I wanna set it up because I have it set up with my Twitch and my Facebook for whenever I do gaming. But for some reason, I don't know. There you go, Trini. That's what you do. You just Tom DeLonge inspired you to contact aliens. Yeah, he's got a great story there. It's pretty cool. And the adventure. Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I thought. I think that's why I have it on chat font size 5 because it wouldn't go to 6. Well, the good thing is unlike when I first went vegan, nowadays there's so many alternatives. If you really are craving cheese, go buy some vegan cheese and splurge, make a grilled cheese sandwich, make, cheese and crackers or mac and cheese or pizza, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's right there, Fill yourself up with some vegan junk food, so you don't go to the cheese. Let yourself know what's really in it. And let yourself know what a somatic cell count is. Yeah, because it's allowed to be in the dairy that you eat. It's called pus with a certain amount of blood, and it's disgusting. So once you know that, and then you know that the vegan stuff doesn't have any of that in it. It's all plants. Am I gonna finish The Last of Us this decade? So let me think. We have until the end of 2029. So probably I'll be able to do that somewhere in there. Alrighty, what else we got here? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's really, I know there's people, they have this cognitive dissonance but once you know what it really is, and it really, like, people that say, I'm a huge animal lover. It's like, then please go vegan. Because, when you're not vegan, you don't realize what you're causing, what you're helping cause, But just, it comes down to your everyday life, the things that you do, like realistically, what things you have to eat. You have to eat food, and you have to, get your sustenance, and you have to do it some way. So you just say, you got to make it, you got to, in my brain, when I did it, like, and I think everybody can do this, is you got to tell yourself, like, okay, I'm going vegan, and these are the reasons why I'm vegan, but to make it easier on me, I'm not going to consider these things food. Like, we're pretty resourceful human beings. So if somebody told you, like, I have, if you eat anything that's not, if somebody told you if you ate anything that wasn't plant-based, if you ate any animals or anything, you would die. Not that they would kill you, but like there'd be like some, click that you would just die. You wouldn't eat it. So, or if something really bad was going to happen, you wouldn't do it, right? So you got to figure out, well, in a survival situation, what can I do? What else can I do? So in my mind, I just told myself, all right, animal products, they're no longer food to me. I don't consider it food. I know people eat it, but for me, it's like, it's not food. It's not edible. So once you do that, you open your eyes to, like, well, I have to survive, so what can I eat? So then you look at all the other things in the world, which is crazy amount of things, all the vegetables, all the fruits, all the nuts and the seeds, mushrooms, ew, but still, like, all these different things that you can still eat, and you can literally combine those things in millions, if not billions, of different combinations to make different meals, different herbs and spices, flavorings, and you're not going to do without. Like, I've been vegan you've heard me say it a million times, longer than I haven't been vegan, and I've never thought about going back to how it was before I was vegan. There's just so many things. Like, my whole food profile just opened up because it almost like forces you to try to be more creative with all the different things. And I feel like when you're not vegan and there's no restriction whatsoever, there's no creativity. You're just like, oh, I can eat whatever I want. I don't have to like I had to figure out what to do. Like, I had to make all these different things and learn about different foods and try different things because, I still, like, I don't want to eat something if it doesn't taste good, right? Just because I'm vegan doesn't mean I can't eat something that tastes good and fills me up. So I guess I'm a snob for food. I love good tasting food, delicious foods. So that's what I do, and you can absolutely do that as a vegan. I feel like, in my mind, I feel like a vegan chef is a better chef because they can make such creative things out of like crazy different things that you would never expect to do with these different vegetables and come out so delicious. Whereas like you're a chef making things with animal products. I mean, you got a freaking slab of animal muscle that you cook up with some dairy and cheese. I mean, vegan chefs are making their own cheese out of like nutritional yeast or nuts or whatever, squash, carrots, like so many different things you'd never think of. And we're making all kinds of different flavor palettes and just everything. It's go vegan. Yeah, exactly. What we've normalized is like backwards thinking. Like, think about it. Just think about it. You're raising an animal and you're feeding that animal until it gets to the right size, and then you're like, okay, and then you kill it, and then you grind it up, and you process it, and then you make food from that. Why don't you just go from the plants and the grains and the seeds and everything and harvest those, and no cruelty there, and process those into whatever you want to make, or eat them whole, because you could do either, and come up with, so that would be like, you're getting everything you need too. You're not getting them recycled through an animal. You're getting all the vitamins you need straight from the plants, right where the animals get it from. So there's the cruelty aspect of it. There's the health aspect of it. There's the environmental aspect of it, and the well-being. I feel so much better, even though it's been forever. Like, I can still remember what it was like not to be vegan, but I feel better physically and mentally. Like, I know that I'm not contributing to things that I'm fundamentally against. So, and I think most people are anyway. Most people don't want to see an animal suffer. So why would they pay for somebody else to make an animal suffer? I mean, that's the whole reason it's happening, is because people pay for it. But it's less and less people pay for it. And some people say veganism isn't doing anything. It's absolutely doing something. When you have more demand for something, I don't care what you say, I don't care what your argument is, you're changing the world. And companies, whether they're subsidized or not, are eventually going to have to say, we need to look at a new market. We need to look at new products. We need to look at new innovation, and that's what's happening in this world. Veganism is mainstream right now, and when I went vegan, nobody even knew what the word was. Nobody knew what it meant. Nobody knew how to pronounce it. They thought it was something from outer space, pretty much. Hallelujah. I am thirsty. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, so a lot of people are always like, "Well, I don't feel good and everything." I don't know, and I know this isn't for everybody, but and I've told you guys this a lot, but I haven't mentioned this in a while. So just to refresh, so I went vegetarian when I was 14. I stopped eating meat, and at that point, I also like I've considered myself a lifelong. I'm straight edge, which means I don't do drugs or alcohol, and I'm pretty hardcore at it. Like, I don't even drink coffee, and I don't drink caffeinated soda. I don't drink any soda, but I don't drink caffeinated soda or anything like that. Um, and I don't take medicine unless it's literally life threatening. So I won't take any kind of pain medicine or anything like that. Now, before I was 14, I would get sick pretty often. And I remember getting these like pounding headaches. They hurt so bad. Pounding, throbbing headaches. And my mom would give me aspirin or Tylenol and say, you'll feel better, take this. And I would take it. And it never made me feel better. I don't know if it was something like that just was like in your mind or what, but I never felt better. Throbbing headaches. Well, anyway, I don't know what it was, but when I was 14, I stopped eating meat and I stopped taking any kind of medicine, any kind of pain medicine. So that was 30 years ago, and I haven't had a single headache since. I've never had a headache in 30 years. And this is something that I used to have all the time. Now, I don't know if it was from the medicine exacerbating it or whatever, or maybe there's just something in me. Maybe the hormones are messing with the hormones in my own body. Maybe the hormones in the meat or whatever they pump into the meat or the animal's own, maybe that did it. That's the only really thing I can think, because those are the only two things that I did differently when these stopped. And then eventually I went vegan, and I rarely ever get sick. I don't know if other people have the same thing. However, I do know vegans that get sick too. But like I get sick maybe once every year or two. Like literally the last time I was sick, and it usually lasts for maybe 18 to 24 hours when I do get sick. But the last time I was sick was Christmas morning, not last year, but the year before. So almost 2 years ago. I haven't been sick since. I mean, so I would say earlier this year I had a little bit of a cough, but like I didn't feel sick. I don't know if I would consider. I mean, I had a little bit of a cough. Other than that, like I haven't felt sick. And when I get sick, like I just, I get the shivers and and I feel dizzy, and I can't eat. I feel like I'm gonna throw up or something. Like that's how I feel when I get sick. And other than that, like I rarely ever get sick. So I think it's a part, of like just eating healthy, avoiding putting certain things in your body, and I don't know where else I'm going with that. Yeah, I'm not sure if they really knew too much about that. Acetaminophen, aspirin, thinning the blood a little to make your headache go down. At least that's what they thought. And remember, this is 30 years ago. This is in the late 80s, early 90s. My mom used to give me this in the 70s and 80s. I don't know what they give you these days, just because I don't pay attention to it. It's not something that affects me. Hello, Gomez. How are you doing? Hope you're good tonight. And if I do feel like I'm starting to maybe get sick, I'll make a juice, and I'll juice fresh turmeric root and ginger root, and then I might put like something, because that doesn't taste too good, but you know that it's a very healthy thing. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's anti-cancer. It's all. So I would juice that with maybe a carrot or a cucumber, and burns your throat, but it's so good for you. Oh, that no. Okay, well then maybe that was a thing of the past. But that's what my mom gave me back in the day. Yeah, it makes you think. It makes you think, if everybody did the same thing, would we have this many people getting sick all the time? But I really feel like there's something. I mean, when these animals are like factory farmed and they're pumped full of like hormones and antibiotics and everything, like that doesn't just cook out when you cook it. Like it's going into your body, and if you put it in your body, it's going to do something to your hormones. Your body's pretty efficient, so it's going to do whatever it can to try to fight it off or whatever. But that might be a reason why people do get sick. I did have back surgery about 10 years ago. I had a really bad sciatica injury, and it was my only release of that was to get a micro discectomy. They don't have the Tofurkey ham this year. They just advertised it. Maybe they don't have it at your store. Yeah, I always heard that aspirin can cause your stomach to bleed, and just in my mind, I'm like, I don't want aspirin. Get that away from me. But that was one of the reasons why, at age 14, I'm like, I'd rather. Okay, so when I had back surgery, obviously they put me out with whatever they knocked me out with, and when I woke up, they gave me what hydrocodone. They gave me a pill, and I'm like, no, I'm not taking this. They're like, look, you're gonna want it when you start to wake up a little bit more. I'm like, I'm completely awake. They're like, yeah, well, you're gonna want it. It's gonna start hurting. You're gonna want it. I'm like, no, like I've lived with this pain for 2 years of every day of my life. So every day of those 2 years, I lived with that pain. I can deal with whatever is coming, and I refused it. I didn't take any medicine, and I was fine. So yeah, I'd rather know that okay. So they tried to also give me medicine before I would get the surgery too, and I refused it because I'm like, look, I don't want to cover up. I don't want to cover up the problem. I want the problem gone. Like if my body's telling me there's pain and something wrong, I want to know. Even if it hurts, I want to know. I don't want to mask it. I want that problem gone. So that was my thing. True Earth laundry detergent strips. No, I haven't. Uh-oh, we're talking about Dominion. Yeah, getting that surgery was probably the second best decision I'd ever made because instant relief. And when you have constant pain, and believe me, that's what sciatica was. I had the worst. Usually, sciatica, when people get it, it goes away. It'll go away in about a couple weeks at the most or something. Mine didn't. Every minute of every hour of every day for 2 years straight, I was in constant pain. It sucked. It sucked to sleep. It sucked to do anything. And I couldn't live like that anymore. I was like 34 or 5, and I'm like, I feel like I'm in my 70s or 80s. Like there's like if just in my mind right now, if you tell me I have to live like this for the next how many years I'm alive, like I can't. I can't. And the doctor said, okay, well you have two options. You can either live like that the rest of your life, or I can give you the surgery. And I was super against surgeries, but I'm like, man. So I said, screw it. I'll get the surgery. And I did. And it was like literally the second best decision I had ever made because I went home and I laid down in my bed, both legs straight. I couldn't do that before. And I just laid there, no pain. And I just was like looking up at the ceiling. I was all by myself and I just started laughing. I'm smiling and laughing. I'm like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm not in pain. And I'm very careful now. Like, I mean, I'll still skate and do stuff like that. But what I mean is, whenever I'm sitting down, I try to sit with proper posture. I try not to sit for too long. That's why, like, when I am gaming, I like to stand up or take a quick break, go do some pull-ups or something. And I don't care if it makes me look bad or not. But if somebody needs help, picking up something really heavy, I'm like, I'm not the person to do that because I do not want this to happen again. So, and when I would go to the gym and work out, the one thing I wouldn't do deadlifts. I just wouldn't. My back, I'm just not gonna. I'll do other things. I'll do sitting down ones on the machine, but I'm not gonna do deadlifts. My back didn't hurt so much when I woke up from the surgery and I didn't take the pills. Yeah, I don't I don't know what that's like. I know people take pain medicine to get rid of the pain, but I don't understand what that is because I've never done that. I've never had medicine to take care of the pain other than like I guess when I go to the dentist, and for some reason it doesn't always work when they do it, so it's scary when I go to the dentist. But other than that, like that's a local anesthetic instead of just like a full body something knocking you out. Um, I had to either stand up or lay down. I couldn't sit down. They didn't want me sitting down, so if I was laying down and I had to get up, I would kind of like roll up and kind of push myself up like without, because you didn't want to like sit down on it and because a microdiscectomy, they go in, they make an incision about like that in your lower back, and then they pull the muscle apart, and they got to take the nerve, your sciatic nerve, and they got to kind of like move it, because it's a phantom pain really. Like the pain goes all the way down. It went all the way down to my heel, all the way down my leg, all the way down to my heel, and it's a throbbing pain. It's one of those pain. It's not a sharp pain. It's just like it's just there every second. It drives you insane. And they have to move that sciatic nerve. And the reason why that pain is there is because part of my disc in my back had bulged out. And if it touches the sciatic nerve, you have a phantom pain. And however hard it touches the nerve, you feel it further down. So some people, it's not that bad, and they only feel it down to maybe their butt or the back of their leg. But mine was so hard, it went all the way down to my heel, by my ankle. And it wasn't going away. Like I had tried everything. I had tried physical therapy, all kinds of different things, and nothing was working. So it was time to either get the surgery or who knows. So that's what I did. And yeah, it was such a good decision to do that because I'm pain free for almost 10 years now. Was it 10 years? February 2011. So 9 years. Well, when I'm doing these lives with you, I kind of have to be sitting in a chair. But when I'm not doing this, I try not to be. Like, I'll either, a lot of times I would even, when I had my laptop, I would edit my videos like laying down on my bed with my laptop up. Edit videos that way. So much easier on the back. Anyone been purposely served animal products in a restaurant after telling them you don't want them? Um, I have one time. That's not okay. That's not okay, and I would hope that nobody would ever do that. That's messed up. I worked at a I worked at like an upscale restaurant here in Syracuse, New York, down in the Armory Square area, and I was it was right after college. I was a prep cook, so I would just prepare all the foods for the actual chef, and before we would actually open up around I think 5 or something for dinner, the chef would like make food for everybody, like just get stuff, like we'd all sit down and eat. And usually I would just make my own stuff. And he asked me if I wanted something. I'm like, yeah, can I just get the and he knew I was vegan. And he used to give me crap about it. And he gave me, I said, can I get just the, like, I think, what did I have? I think it was rice. I think I had some rice and anyway, whatever I had. But I went to sit down and I went to eat it, and I saw he put shrimp in it, and he's like sitting there like waiting like with a big smile on his face to see if I was gonna eat it. I was like, what the heck? And he's like, I'm like, you put and remember, this is me before, this is the old me, okay? I was very shy and unconfrontational, but I was really mad. If this was now me, like I probably would have, he'd probably have that all over his face, and he'd probably be on the floor. But because that's not okay. That's not okay. And if somebody did that to me, I would probably flip a table. Um, he did it on purpose. It's one thing if somebody does it on accident, but he did it on purpose. He was waiting for me to eat it, and I was like, I walked away and I went back to the kitchen and started doing my work. But yeah, that's not okay if somebody does that. And somebody, we went to this is about 20 years ago. We went to a house party. I was with John. We were with our friends, and somebody there who, not really a friend of his, but an acquaintance, threw a hot dog at him. And John was like, what the like, I mean, just not okay. Not okay. Yeah, I don't either, because I've worked in restaurants, and it's so easy for, like, something to come back and they're like, oops, they didn't want any cheese on it, and they're like, oh, okay, and they'll just pick it off, give it back to you. It's like, no, make a new one. Don't, no. So yeah, I mean, I've even like, and I don't like to go out to eat at other places like this, but when I go to, like, with family to like a big event, I'm like, oh man, like, and so like when the waitress comes out, I remember it was like, what was it? It was I don't know, it was a get together with the family, and she was taking our order, and I was like, I couldn't stress how much, like, I didn't want, like, any, like, I think we always say, oh, like, very highly allergic, so then they try to make sure that they're not using cross contamination. And then I think we ordered a pizza, and we were like, well, like, they, not many vegans probably come here, so, like, I was worried that they were going to make me a vegan pizza and then cut it with the same cutter that they just cut a regular pizza with, or a non-vegan pizza, I should say. And then, so I just said, could you make the pizza, but don't cut it? I wanted to cut it. I cut it myself with a butter knife. But yeah, I mean, some people aren't like that. Some people don't. It's not a big deal to them, and that's fine. But for me, I'm kind of a little bit neurotic like that. But again, I don't consider the stuff food. So like, if there's a cross contamination, it's kind of, it's gross. It's really gross to me. So I know by doing something like that, I'm not technically contributing to it if there was a little bit of a cross contamination. But you got to remember, like, the way I view this, it's like having feces on something. Nobody would eat that. And that's the way I feel. Like, there's really no difference between a dead animal parts, or dead animal liquids on my thing. Oh, it's like, it's just, don't worry about it. It's cross contamination. It's not. You're not. It's fine. No, it's not. It's disgusting. And some people will argue with that with me, but I don't care. I'm not changing my mind on that. Yeah, that's why, honestly, that's why if I'm going to go somewhere to eat, I'd much rather, and even then you're probably thinking, like, there's going to be something that's like dirty in there, but, um, and I'm not saying definitely for sure, but, like, I'd rather go to an all vegan place where there's no chance of cross contamination than going to, like, a non-vegan place that could give me something vegan. But that's to say that I never do that, because sometimes it's just, like I meet somebody out and we end up going to, I don't know, like a vegan friendly place. But like I don't mind going to places like Chipotle where I can see them make my food because they've always been super cool too. Like I can ask them, to that I don't know meat or dairy cross contamination, and they're usually really really cool. Actually, they've always been really cool, and if even when I'm like, oh, there's pieces of cheese and like the guacamole or something, they're like, oh, no problem at all, and they'll go in the back and grab a new one, and they've done this even when the line was super busy. So, kudos to them. But yeah, yeah, same here. Produce. I rarely ever go out to eat. Most of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, I cook here. I buy my own food and cook it here. When I travel, yeah, I want to go out and try all these vegan places, but that's rare and it hasn't happened this year at all, obviously. Um, Yesterday, I actually hung out and skateboarded with a friend for the first time. I hadn't seen him since before the pandemic. So we're talking about a good year. And yeah, afterwards we went to Strong Hearts. So, but other than that, we don't have any other vegan places around here. So it's very, very rare that I will go out and eat anywhere. John and I had Chipotle the other night because he came. That was last week, last live stream that I did. Other than this, and we drove around and stopped at Chipotle, so we got to see them make that. Yeah, yeah. I think everybody's got like a story like something like that where some family member made something for them and they're like, oh no, I made it for you. And you're like, oh, but it's not vegan. It's got cheese on it. Oh, that's just a little bit of Parmesan cheese. It's not, just it's not that bad. It's like, yeah, but it's not vegan now. We, well, I spent all day making it for you. Thank you. Thank you very much, but I can't eat it. I'm sorry. Yeah, one of the yeah, phew. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. Like having your food messed up is it's pretty irritating. It's pretty irritating when you order something vegan. Like I wouldn't like if somebody makes a mistake with like a food, that's one thing. But when they make a mistake that you know you either accidentally or unintentionally eat something not vegan because they're not doing their job right, and that happened. That happened like just as recently as last year. I was so mad. I was so mad. I went to a there was a ramen place opened up around here, and I was like, wow, that's never happened. Let's go. So I heard they had some vegan stuff. So the waitress came over, and I said, we're right off the bat just to make it easy because she was telling us specials. I'm like, right off the bat to save everything, and I was being super polite, by the way. I was like, okay, so we're all vegan here. We're looking to see because it's a brand new place. So what do you have that's vegan friendly? Oh, okay, okay. So she's going through some of the things that we can order, and first of all, they didn't even have ramen. It was like, well, you can get these noodles instead, which are vegan. I'm like, well, because they advertised it as having like vegan friendly. So I'm like, so we came here to get ramen because it was vegan, but the actual ramen aren't vegan. Okay, so I can get this broth and these noodles, which weren't even ramen. What were they? They were like rice noodles. They weren't. It wasn't ramen. Um, and then the extra flavor, and then there was this. It was called what was it? I forget what it was called, but it was like maybe like a chipotle butter stuff. And I was like, none of this stuff's vegan. She goes, oh no no, that is. And I'm like, this is vegan. This where it says butter. She goes, yes, that's vegan. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, can you just double check? And she's like, oh, absolutely. I mean, she was super nice, Absolutely. And by the way, nobody was there. We were the only three there. So she goes in the kitchen to double check for me, and then she comes out and she's like, she gives us each of our thing, and I'm like, okay, great. And I went to take a taste of that, and I was like, immediately I could tell of everything that I know that I've ever created that was vegan. You know, I grab the napkin, I'm wiping my tongue off. I'm like, there's no way that's vegan. There's no way that's vegan. And then a chef was walking by, and I didn't know who. I go, and he's looking at me like, kind of like, you know, and while he was looking at me, making eye contact, I'm like, hey, I got a question, and I'm like, is this vegan right here? He goes, no, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, like she just said she double checked. He was the owner, and he's like, oh, okay, oh, hold on, and so he went and changed it out and everything, and then she comes back. So she obviously lied. She, like, I asked her simple questions, and like I tried to make it easy. Like, I was understanding that she wasn't getting it, but she it wasn't like she lied. She said she was gonna go double check and everything was good. And I'm like, I'm really like, you know, like I don't want anything not vegan. Like I made it a point. Like, and I'm trying to tell the story without sounding, because some people are like, oh, you're being a dick. Like, I wasn't a dick at all. Like, when you go somewhere and you want to find like an allergen or you know, a certain, you know, lifestyle choice, whatever, being vegan, like, that's important, you know. So when she's telling me that it's vegan and she's double checking for me and it's all good, and then it turns out not to be, because she obviously lied and didn't ask the chef. Now she's standing here while he's talking to me, and she's like, so sorry. So I wouldn't even look at her. I didn't even look at her. I was livid, because like why does this happen? So this is reason I don't like. I've never gone there again. It wasn't even good, to be honest with. There was no flavor to it. But yeah, that's not the only time that kind of thing has happened. So that's why I'm very reluctant to go anywhere like that. And I know some people it's not a big deal to, but for me it's a pretty big deal, and that's why I stay away from going to places that are vegan friendly, because one little mishap, you know, put in cow cheese on something instead of vegan cheese, and it's scary, you know. It's scary when you know, that, you know, adamant about it. I don't know. Washington D.C. channel. There's all kinds of great plant meats out there. A lentil. So if I go to Melbourne, I gotta go to lentil. Honestly, I wanted to leave, but the owner that came over there and started talking was very apologetic, and I kind of felt bad for him, because it wasn't his fault, it was her fault, and I was really mad at her for doing that. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, look, stop it, you're making it worse. Like, I mean, I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm not going to say it's okay, because that's what she wants. She wanted me to be like, it's okay, but I wasn't going to say that. I was upset with her, rightfully so. Oh, and also a little hint: if you do go to Chipotle and they're making your stuff, let them know before they get to the cheese that you want no cheese on it, and double check it with them, because oftentimes they'll put their hand in the cheese and they'll be like, cheese, and you'll be like, no, and they're like, oh, and they'll throw it down, and they just touched it with the glove. Okay, so as you're going down the line, before they have a chance to do that, be like, no cheese, no dairy, no cheese. A little tip. These are things that are very rare that have happened to me, but I mean, come on, I've been vegan for over a quarter of a century. So of course I'm going to have stories like that have happened in the past. Um, there's another place that I went to in Rochester that gave me something non-vegan after I just ordered it, and they were known for being one of the new vegan places around, and they had a few things that weren't vegan. But so I went here, and they ended up giving me. I had just asked the chef, or not the chef, the waiter, because I saw they had cheese bread. I'm like, well, what kind of vegan cheese do you use? Because I needed to know, because some of the cheeses, there was certain cheeses at the time, this is like 10 years, 12 years ago, that didn't agree with my stomach. So like, they were like, it's Daya cheese. I'm like, okay, I can eat Daya. So they're like, it's Daya cheddar. I'm like, okay, I want that. I want the Daya cheddar cheese bread and everything for the starter, and then for for the meal, this is what I wanted. And anyway, it came out, and it was animal cheese, and I didn't even think twice about it because I literally just ordered vegan cheese bread, and this was a vegan, mostly vegan. It was being promoted as like one of Rochester's first vegan places. So I bite into it, I start chewing on. I'm like, oh, cheese. I come over and they're like, oh yeah, that's cheese, and I'm like. And then the owner comes over and he was so apologetic and everything. But then they gave me the wrong order, and then they never even take it off the bill. And like, I will never ever go to the Owl House again. Really bad place. I don't expect to go to a vegan place and have them feed me something non-vegan. So I'll never go there. There's a couple places I've been that I will never go to again. I don't care if they're vegan or not. They treated me wrong. Veganism is a form of OCD. No, I don't think veganism is a form of OCD. I guess certain individuals may have their form of OCD. I mean, I guess I'm OCD about certain things like germs and washing my hands and stuff like that. But that kind of goes with like contamination of my food as well. So maybe I'm a little bit like that because of it. But I mean, it is vegan, but even if it wasn't, like even if I wasn't, I probably would still be like that as far as like getting germs in my food and stuff. Like for instance, I wouldn't drink something after somebody else drank out of the same cup. Um, but I mean, who cares really? There's a George Romero filmmaking program. Where do I find this? What places treated me poorly? There's a couple other ones, yeah. There's a place in DC that treated me kind of crappy. I went in there and I ordered my food, and I was super excited. This food is like, it's soul food. It looks so good. And then I went in line and I'm like, can I get the green juice? And she's like, the juicer is not working. And I'm like, oh, okay. Or we're not, no, she said, we're not making juices right now. And I'm like thinking like, why would you not make juice right now? Well, maybe it's a busier time of the day. Okay, I get that. All right, so can I get the protein smoothie? She goes, no, the smoothies aren't, we're not serving smoothies right now either. And I'm like, oh. Now I'm thinking like, what? I wonder why both your smoothie and juice are down. I'm like, all right, can I just get a bottle of water? And she's like, and she grabs me a bottle of water and she cashes me out. And then I go to sit down, and the guy behind me with his two kids ordered 3 juices, and she made them. Like directly behind me, not like a few people behind me where maybe no, like as I was walking away, putting the receipt in my pocket, he says, can I get the whatever. He ordered 3 juices for his 2 kids and himself, and she made them. And I sat down watching her make them. Like, I will never go there again. They have 2 locations. The other location was fine. I have a video of this, so I have no problem talking about it. It's called New Vegan, NU Vegan. Lost my business. What else? There's another, the worst one ever. I'm not going to even get into the worst one ever. I almost did a video on the worst one ever. I almost did a whole video on it, but I decided, nah. You would have turned around and said, if I could go back in time, I would do that, Trini. I would totally do that. And I did a video there. I went in there with the intention to, actually, I think I did. I think I still promoted them. I think I did a video when I went down there because I was there because my sister lives down there. So we all went and I don't know. I have a video of it and I tell the story that I just told you in the video. But it was my DC, vegan in DC. Because earlier that day we went to Hip City Veg and wow, they're super good. I recommend them. But yeah, that was weird. What's on my plate this year for Tofurkey Day? I don't know. Probably the same as pretty much every year, but we're doing it over at my brother's house. And I guess they have a spreadsheet for everybody to bring whatever. So I got to figure out what I'm bringing. My crescent rolls that I usually make, I'll probably make a bunch of those because those were a huge hit last year. And if you're wondering what they are, I have a video on it. I think I did it last year or the year before. Super good though. Your pizza made you sleepy. Don't fall asleep in your pizza though. You wish I told the owner? I went there with every intention to promote their business. And I left feeling like pretty, I don't know, offended? Like, what the hell? Oh, another one that in DC? What is up with DC? Another one. I used to live in DC. And there was another one that I used to go to. And, I gave them the benefit of the doubt because the last three times I went there, they were horrible. Horrible towards vegans. Bus boys and poets. Yeah. And then my sister went a couple times after that because she still lives down there and she's got horrible stories. So I don't think I'll ever go there again. It's in Shirlington. I lived right in Arlington, not too far from it. And every once in a while I would go there. And I lived there back in 2008. So this was pretty new for that. And there was another place I used to go to in DC that I really loved, but they closed down. And it was called, oh man, what was it called? I forget, but it had the word green in it. Green. Something on the green, or I don't remember, but they had the best sandwiches and shakes. And they were right in the heart of DC. Tell the Pentagon story? What Pentagon story? Do I travel the interstate much? Yeah. I mean, it's not too far from me. So I'm usually 481 or 81. And then also Thruway 90, Interstate 90. Actually, one of the reasons I bought this house in this location was because it was really close to the Thruway and the interstate because I traveled a lot for my job. Now how long have we been on now? Probably better get going soon here. Oh yeah, I always do this. I always do the Thanksgiving vlog, so I'll definitely do that. Victoria, yeah. So if you probably got here a little bit late, but earlier on the stream, I was talking about that. I've always wanted to open my own pizza shop, but I'm just not ready to set down here and do that right now. I still want to travel a lot. So that's kind of a long-term goal. But it's something I've wanted to do since I was 18. Candle 79 closed down. Yeah, that was one of the best places down there in New York City. And And the owners have been vegan for so long. I think Bart's been vegan for over 50 years. I did go to the Pentagon and somebody famous was there. You want me to tell that story? Okay, so for those of you, I when I lived in Washington D.C., I was a special investigator. That was my previous job before Vegan Zombie, and um, I did top secret security clearances. So like, I didn't go to the Pentagon that often. I've only been there a handful of times. And it's funny, the security that they need to get in there, the identification you need just to get in there. Like I had a government issued badge. I had a badge from the U.S. Department of Defense. It was my badge being an investigator. I had that and my license, and they still were like, "We need one more form of ID." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Like, seriously?" So, but it was okay because somebody had to come down and get me. I wasn't, so basically that just said I wasn't going to get the badge that would let me roam freely in the Pentagon. I had to have somebody come down and get me and walk me there. And you don't realize how big the Pentagon is unless you've actually been there. It's like a city. It's like a freaking city. They have a mall there. They have a clothing store, everything there. It's huge. And if this person didn't come and get me, I would have been lost. So this person comes and gets me on this certain time, and there's a ton of people in there. There's kids in there for like school field trips and stuff. There's so many people in there. So we go down like some big hallway. We're walking. Oh, and the famous person. As I was coming in, getting checked through security, I heard the Pentagon police, whatever they were, talking about, hey, Lieutenant Dan's here today. He's in the courtyard. Lieutenant Dan? Yeah, Gary Sinise from Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. He was there doing like some talk in the courtyard of the Pentagon, and they were all talking about, Lieutenant Dan was there. So that's the famous person that was there. So we're walking through the corridors, big hallways, and then we went off into some door, and these doors are labeled like, if I can remember, like C9 or like, just, I'm trying to remember where I am. Like we're going through a corridor, then we're going through some back corridor, and then like through a maze, and finally we get to where I needed to be to look at some documents that I had to take for my job interview. And then I remember when I was done, they're like, all right, well, can you get back on your own? I'm like, no, I would get very lost. And they're like, all right, come on. And like, we walked like another mile back. It was crazy. Crazy. So I went there, yeah, just maybe a handful of times, but I worked a lot in the DC area and other places. I've been to one Loving Hut. It was actually kind of a weird experience, but it was funny. Trini, in New Vegan, they also have another location by the college that I went to after the fact. Going in there thinking that they're going to treat me the same way. They were awesome. So if you're going to go to New Vegan, go to that location, because they were really nice there. They were like, oh, hey, welcome to New Vegan. And I'm like, whoa, this is so much different than what I just came from. The story about when I auditioned to Fight Club, I can't talk about Fight Club. Oh, I love, it's funny that we're telling this. I love Ethiopian food. And the first place I've ever had Ethiopian food was in DC. And that was back in like 1997 or something. No security clearance at all. Okay, so Loving Hut. I never say this word right, but Worcester, Maine. That's where I was. That's the Loving Hut I went to, and I ordered, and the guy comes out and he takes my order, and he's like, I go, "Can I get this?" And he looks at me, he goes, "Are you the vegan zombie?" And I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, And he just stared at me. He didn't say a word. And then he just runs through the doorway in the back room, and he's just like, it sounds like he's like screaming in the back room. And then he comes back out. He goes, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh my God, can I get a picture with you?" And like, so we took a picture, and it just was really weird because he like paused for way too long. And he's just like, and then he started screaming and jumping up and down. Like, it was really weird. But yeah, that's the only time I went in a loving hut. Worcester. You visited DC in March 2009. March 2009 was when I moved. So I was there in 2009 in March, and I was that's when I got sciatica. That's when it happened. March of 2009 in DC. Ethiopian food is so good, and I'll tell you what, when I ate Ethiopian food, it was the fullest I've ever been. I never wanted to eat again. I felt like I was gonna explode, and it was because you have this delicious injera bread, and like, it doesn't look like there's a lot, but there's so much, and like, I'm eating it, and I'm like, all right, so, and I very easily ate all the bread, but then the bread expands, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so full, and that was a few years ago, and I'm like, I'm gonna be careful the next time I eat Ethiopian, because I never wanted to eat again after. You know, you get that feeling, you eat so much, you're like, I'm never gonna eat again. And then the next day you're like, man, I'm so hungry. You've tried Super Chat? It should work. We're on... That's weird. We've already got one. But if you didn't hear me earlier, like, I have been trying to get Streamlabs to work. I was at it for maybe about an hour before we finally went live, and I decided to say, like, all right, I'm just going to go with OBS because I can't get it to work. I thought everything was good. Everything was set up good. And then I go to Stream Live, and it says, you have to put in the game that you're playing. I'm like, I'm not playing a game. So then I was afraid that it was going to stream to my Twitch, even though I put it on YouTube. So I am trying. So hopefully next time we can get that worked out. Iron Gamer said he would help me with that. What's my favorite place I ever went? I kind of made a post about this the other day, but let's see. I don't really know. There's different places for different things. Like, I love nature and like hiking in nature, but I also I love LA. I love the vegan. I love that there's so many countless vegan options in LA. I love that. But there's no place like home. I did hear about McPlant Burger. I don't have a Cinnaholic near me. But when they first opened, Shannon sent me a whole box of their Cinnaholic stuff. We have a video on it. It's pretty funny. Oh, that was years ago. Stardress Sky, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. I was saying goodbye to a patient the other night. I literally said, take care, guys. Survive. I don't know why I said survive, other than I was thinking of the vegan zombie. Subscribe and survive. See you later, guys. Stay safe and watch out for zombies. I don't know. That's been my kind of like outro for everything. Oh, Andy the pub. LA is awesome for the food. Yes. Yeah, sour. It's sour. You can. It's so many endless things you could do with sour. You could put some rosemary in there. You could put some olives in there. Um, I still have that bread video that we did. Me and John did like 6 or 7 years ago that I never posted. I'm thinking about just giving it a quick edit and posting it, and maybe I'll do some commentary in it to be like, I forget why I didn't post it. I think I don't know. I forgot why I didn't post it. You were super embarrassed after you said survive. They're like, oh man, what's going on? What video game should I get? Assassin's Creed or So I started playing Spider-Man. It's pretty cool, but I think I've never played Assassin's Creed, but it looks really cool. I might want to try that. Chicago had so many. I have only been to Chicago once, and I went to the Chicago Diner and Owen and Alchemy, which isn't a restaurant. It's like a juice place. We There's India on the floor, India on the floor, India on the floor. Um, I'm like looking over at this. It's way too close to my face. My parents, they're doing good. My dad just had surgery on his hand, so his hand hurts right now. You always end up hungry when I stream. Yeah, me too. Actually, I'm more thirsty than I am hungry. New Assassin's Creed just came out. I'm having trouble getting away from EverQuest right now because things are happening. I'm like leveling up. I play with. It's not just me. I play with a bunch of different people when I go on. So the Ghost of Tsushima, Iron Gamer was playing that. I actually. Oh no, yeah, you just said that. No, somebody. Oh, Plant Patrol said it. But yeah, Iron Gamer. I watched his stream. He streams as well. Chris. That's my name. Stardust. Sorry guys if I missed some of the questions here when I start talking. What does my shirt say? Vegan Creature Designs. I like this shirt. Bugs come out of the strawberry. Is it really bugs or is it the seeds in the strawberry? Joseph Michael, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Have you been to Brooklyn for vegan food? Yes, I have. In fact, one of my friends owns a pretty well-known restaurant down there called Modern Love. I actually stayed there a few times. But yeah, I've been to quite a few places in Brooklyn, and I have video to prove it. Yeah, actually there's a bunch of it on this channel. Earlier on in the channel, there's me in Brooklyn. I know. I need to get back to Trader Joe's because I went and did the fall themed Trader Joe's when they had nothing, and now they have all this stuff. My lives are so fun. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thanks, Ash. At least people aren't telling me to stop doing them. So that makes me want to keep doing them, I guess. Sometimes I start and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Kind of like tonight, I didn't know, and then I'm like, let's start with skateboarding. Like most of these are impromptu. Like I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but if you guys get me going, I have so much up here that I could talk about. I don't know. I guess I don't like to offer it unless asked. They are bugs? Well, that's kind of gross. Wow, now the comments are pouring in here. So I don't know what Spider-Man I have. What I don't. I have a Spider-Man, but it's probably not the brand new one. The fall stuff is going away. It's everybody's getting into that winter Christmassy theme now. I told you once Halloween's over, it's over. I mean, it's not over for everybody, but for everybody, it's over. I try to find stuff to talk about to keep you guys entertained. And when I don't, I'm like usually like, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. Watch out for zombies. Never been to Newfoundland. Places I've been, and if anybody has any questions, I'll tell you more about when I visited. Let's see, I've been all the way up to Canada. I've been to Montreal, Toronto, and Niagara Falls. All the way east to the tip of like Maine, Vermont. Um, all the way down to Florida. Lived in Florida. All the way over to Texas. I've been in a few of the mid. I've been in Colorado. And I've been to California, Washington, Oregon. I've been to Victoria, Canada. I've been to Alaska. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to the Caribbean, Costa Rica, Panama, Puerto Rico, St. Thomas, Curacao, Ketchikan, Alaska, yeah. I've been to Germany, and I think that's it. I'd like to go to other places, but I had fun probably in most of those places. Germany was fun because I got to do an entire tour of the country for my cookbook. I have been to Nebraska, yes. I've been to Nebraska, Omaha, which I stayed with my friend who has the same restaurant there, Modern Love in Nebraska and Modern Love in Brooklyn. So 2 restaurants there. So yeah, I was in Nebraska. I forgot about that. I've been, Chicago. Oh, I went all the way up to Dakota for Standing Rock. Chicago, Wisconsin. Some of these are just driving through. Ohio, Pennsylvania. Yeah, pretty much the eastern states all the way down, DC, Virginia. I lived in Virginia. I lived in New York City. I lived in Florida. I love how you guys know some of the places I was at, and I totally forgot. But I think that's about it. Yeah, I've never been to Ireland. I'm Irish, but I've never been there, and I've never been to like England or anything like that. But I've been invited. I've been invited to go to some of those restaurants out there. I trained for work in Colorado, so I went to Loveland, and I think we went up to Estes Park. We went to the Stanley Hotel, The Shining, Stephen King's The Shining, and that was a cool tour of that hotel. That was pretty awesome. Um, in room 217, and guess what? The hotel that I was staying at, my room was room 217. And then we made our way to Denver one night too. So as far as Colorado goes, that's it. And I was there for I trained there for when I became a special investigator. So I was there for 2 or 3 weeks. I was in Seattle. only for a night because that's where we went. That's where we took our cruise ship to Alaska out of Seattle. And Seattle seemed pretty cool, but I was only there for like literally a night, and the next morning we left. I was in Portland, Oregon, and then somewhere else in Oregon, but that was just driving through. Portland, Oregon was for the Vegan Beer Fest, which eventually became Eat Drink Vegan. I was there. I've been to Portland a few times. Well, a couple times. And they have a lot of good vegan options there too. And some people say it's the best, but I've been to LA and I will say that LA beats Portland for me. LA has infinitely more places. I have rode a motorcycle, yes. Ralph, it's 237 in the movie, it's 217 in the book. If I'm in Ireland, you have to... I don't drink beer, though. I don't drink beer. Which really worries me, because if I was in Ireland and Conor McGregor tried to get me to drink some of his alcohol and I said no, he's going to punch me in the face. I don't want Conor McGregor to punch me in the face. So maybe I won't go to Ireland. But those castles... Oh yeah, Tel Aviv, Israel, vegan capital of the world. My brothers go there for work, and they say there's so much vegan stuff there. Was there a scary movie filmed in Spokane, Washington in the 70s or early 80s? What movie would that be? Probably. Boston, D.C., and New York. The end. That's it. Let's see. I've been to Boston, D.C., and New York. And I've lived in two of those. Two of three. No, you've been to Rochester as well. Well, New York, yeah. If you're just talking about the state. But Boston's not a state. Boston's a city. So you've been to Rochester, too. Colorado. Oh, like the airport, the underground airport thing. Never been to Las Vegas, although I definitely want to go. I was going to go earlier this year when I was out in, I had my plane ticket ready to go to California for the expo. And then Cesar and me, we were going to take probably a day trip, because I guess it's only like 3 hours from there, to Las Vegas. And because I hear they got some good vegan places, but never made it. Never been there. Joseph, again, thank you for the super chat. Would you drink a non-alcoholic beer? If there was no, I don't know, because like I'm used to just drink. I don't usually drink, like I don't even drink soda, so I don't know. But I will say I had ginger beer, which is not actually beer. There's no alcohol in it, that they would make at a Ethiopian place in Rochester. I think it's called Everlasting Life or something like that. And I would go there, but they would have ginger beer, and that's the first place. This is like 12 years ago, and this is the first place that I used to see people put in their drinks in mason jars. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Look, guys, I'm Gimli from Lord of the Rings. I'm drinking my ginger beer. Like, I like to pretend things, like, I don't know. But anyway, it was good. Non-alcoholic, so I guess yes, the answer. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, oh yeah, I've seen tons of pictures. There's a whole Instagram for castles on Scotland and stuff. Yeah. Check with Rebalancer. Never been to New Mexico. I've been along the coast of the like Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana. I've driven through the, like, I've been in New Orleans. That was fun. That was back in the 90s. Haven't been there since. No, it wasn't root beer. It was clear. It was totally clear, and it's got that ginger taste, like strong ginger, almost burns your throat, but good in a way too. No, this is an all vegan place where I went. This entire restaurant was all vegan, and I asked them. There was no alcohol, nothing. Yeah, go ahead. Do what Linda said. Linda says thumbs up this live stream if you haven't already. If you enjoy these live streams with me, if they bring you joy or any other, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Because someone told me that that helps the algorithm in YouTube and more people will see them, which is good because I want other people to see them. I don't want to be on the floor crying, Trini, so maybe I won't do that. A health conference in Las Vegas? You cringe the whole time, the opposite of what I'm interested in. You purposely stopped going to work on Wednesdays for the lives? I almost didn't do this tonight because I couldn't get it working, but I'm glad I did. I just went on OBS instead. I didn't have time to look anything up because I thought I knew what I was doing, and since I stream every night on Twitch with it, I thought it would just be easy to switch it over to YouTube. But maybe I can just watch some tutorials on YouTube for that. Oh, if you're watching it live and a commercial comes up, just skip through it. Those are mainly for like when it's, after, when we're not live anymore. Oh, wow. Yeah, Ralph. If somebody, oh my God, there's not a lot of things that would really make me want to hurt somebody, but if somebody drugged me, I would probably hurt them. If somebody put LSD or something in my food or spiked any kind of my food, so I was, because I've never done drugs, and if somebody did that to me, I mean, imagine that. Like, I've never done drugs. I wouldn't take drugs, and if somebody did that to me and then I started driving or something, what would happen? Look, what if I got in an accident? What if I ended up in jail because I accidentally killed somebody because I was uh, drugged? Who's gonna believe? What court is gonna believe that I don't do drugs? But that's something that that you might not think, but I've thought of that kind of stuff. You know, how hard would it be for somebody to do something like that to somebody? Life Alive Organic Cafe in Salem. I've been to Salem many times. I don't know if I've been there. Is it still there? There's there's a pizza place there. I think it's called like Flying Saucers or something, and they got vegan pizza. And then there's a bistro place that makes ice cream for you. That they have vegan ice cream, and you can make it like in a blizzard, and you can put different things in it, like cookie pieces or peanut butter, and oh, it's super good. One of our first videos ever where we travel, we go there, John and me. YouTube was down today? Wow. Las Vegas is all gambling and not being sober. Well, I wouldn't do that. That makes me that reminds me of leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage. Oh, I used to go to Blockbuster. I still have my Blockbuster card somewhere. Oh, those were the days that we have a family video right down the street from me, and it just closed like a week ago. I'm like, I'm surprised. I would always say I'm surprised they're still open, but sad day. Do people assume I do drugs? Uh, People have in the past, but no, I don't think too many people do now. But I remember my first time I got accused of doing drugs. I was so embarrassed and I was so mad. Um, Best scary movie. Well, do you mean the best scary movie or the scariest movie? Because there's a difference, I think. I'd really have to think about that. I can't really think of too many movies that actually scared me. I mean, that actually scare me now. That scared me as a kid. As a kid, probably Nightmare on Elm Street scared me the most. Um, Now, I'm not really too scared of movies, but I would say It Follows is a pretty scary one. The Ring. You know what I thought was scary was the end. Oh, which one was it? It was either part 3 or 4 of Paranormal Activity, where the husband and the wife, they were staying at her mother's house, and they were in separate little twin beds, and then she got up to go downstairs or whatever, and he's waiting, and then he walks downstairs, and then he looks outside, and there's like a guest house or like a shed or something, big super big house. So he walked over there and he opened it, and there was all these people like chanting, and so he runs back in the house, and like it was that part right there was pretty. I thought that was pretty creepy and pretty scary. And I won't give the rest of what happened at the end of that. Best vegan ice cream you've had? Oh man, best vegan. Oh, yeah. It only took me a second because I don't usually eat the ice cream. I'll usually, if I'm craving something, I'll usually have like my own banana ice cream. But hands down, the vegan Netflix and chill by Ben and Jerry's. It's so good. The Oatly ice creams are really good. Um, Nadamu's Rockiest Road is really good. Yeah, there's a lot of good vegan ice creams out there. But yeah, if you haven't had the Netflix and chilled, that's super good. And then Target also has a salted chocolate caramel or something, chocolate chunk. I don't know. I forget what it's called, but it's exclusively only at Target by Ben and Jerry's, and that one's also super good. Oh, and of course the one we created at Ben and Jerry's, that one was called Do It for the Gram, and that was, oh my god, that was super good too. Yeah, if you guys don't know, we were invited to Ben and Jerry's for the vegan program, and we got to make our own vegan ice cream at Ben and Jerry's. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I had Ripple ice cream. I don't know if I've even seen it. There's probably a lot of things I didn't get to see just because I'm usually up on the new things, but there was no expo this year. And that's how I usually get, you know, the down low on all the newest products before most people. It's because I go to these expos. Proud Vegan Country Life. What did you think of the Netflix and chilled? Be careful too, guys, because they do have a non-vegan version. So make sure you're getting the non-dairy one. Let's Scare Jessica to Death. No, I never saw that. I've never heard of that. Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Japanese sweet potatoes are really good. Banana ice cream. Sounds good to me. Creme brulee. It tastes like burnt marshmallows to you. Is that a good thing? I've never tried the vegan Archer Farms one, so that would be the Target brand. It's not available in Australia. I don't know what kind of yeah, like other countries probably don't have everything we have, but you probably have your own versions of things that we don't have. All right, I'll have to check that movie out. 70s movie Jessica. Oh, it's your birthday today? Happy birthday. I must have missed that. Yeah, Wegmans has a new brand of ice cream that's pretty good too. All right, I just got to the end of the questions here. Wow, it's 1 o'clock already. Wow, we've been on for a while here. Sometimes time just flies when you start talking. There's a new film about the making of The Exorcist. Leap of Faith. Yeah, I just watched The Exorcist during the Halloween countdown. That scared the crap out of people when it came out. You know, watching it now, I don't find it scary in the least. But some people do. I think at the time that it came out, definitely. You know what else was scary when I was a kid was the Amityville Horror, which allegedly happened. Well, they said it was all a hoax, but at the time, you know, Amityville is not too far from where I live. Will I ever finish Harry Potter? You mean the books or the movies? I'd have to go through all the movies and watch them in order because I don't remember which ones I saw and didn't see. There was a couple I didn't see, and then a couple. I think the last one I only saw maybe a couple parts of it or something. I don't even know how many there are. Grocery stores are your social life. See, my favorite time to shop at the grocery store I can't do it because Wegmans, who used to be open 24/7, now closes at midnight because of the pandemic. So my favorite time to go grocery shopping is really late, like around now, like 1 or 2. Nobody's there. I can enjoy, like if I want to do a video, whatever. And, I got to do it all in the daytime now. Harry Potter 5 was horrible. What's the one that, oh, what's his name? Guillermo del Toro? Didn't he do one? Was it like part 3 or something? The Cursed film documentary? What's that about? I haven't seen it now. What about did did Stranger Things 3 come out yet? Cuz my friend Cesar said he's all ready for it tonight or something, and I didn't hear anything about it. Oh, you met a vegan in the vegan section today? That's happened to me before. Actually, I was with Cesar in California and we met somebody and we talked for like half an hour. Ben and Jerry still hasn't made. Yeah, if you watch my video, I grilled them like when one of their high up and executives came out to talk to us all. I definitely grilled them on some thought provoking questions about veganism and stuff. So that video, you can click through it on the main video. Not many people watch that video, but yeah, I do ask them because nobody else in our group asked any of those questions. So I did. But at least I gave them some suggestions of what they could do in the future. So I did my part. Stranger Things 3 came out last year. What? Wait, part 1, part 2. Are you serious? Part 1, part 2. Oh, maybe what about part 4 then? Yeah, we're waiting on part 4. Wow, has it been part 4 already? Jeez. What are you guys doing to me? My all-time favorite TV series is The X-Files. Hands down. New vegans follow me around the grocery store to see what I'm buying. What has she got? Did she just put that in? Did she just put that in her? Oh, Pizza by Amaro is in Riverside. Yeah, my friend Amaro makes really, really good vegan pizzas. Did a video on that a couple years ago too. Last year, maybe? Yeah, last year. John Robbins. You're watching Thor. Ragnarok. Is that the one? No, is that the first one? No, that's not the first one, is it? There was a part of the first Thor that really made me laugh. He came down to Earth, and then he went into a pet store, and he's like, "I need a horse." And they're like, "What?" Do I like yoga? I mean, I guess I don't really like or dislike yoga. I've never done yoga. What are your favorite sci-fis? Oh man, like movies? I like the Alien series. Um, I would consider some Twilight Zone probably sci-fi. I like. I haven't seen them all, but I've always liked, Star Trek. Um, I love time travel movies and futuristic and, all that kind of stuff. I'm not familiar with John Robbins. Did who get whose number? There's a lot going on in this chat. I'm not really sure. Ragnarok is the best one. That's the one where it starts out where he's like hanging by the chains. Yeah, I think. I liked Endgame. Is there Endgame? Is that the one where after everyone disappeared? Riverside Pizza Place name. It's he's an individual. He does pop-ups. His name is Amaro. Um, pizza. Hold on. Yeah, I've seen Looper. Let me just look him up here. What is Amaro? Amaro Pizza. Love Amaro Pizzeria is his full, and he's got some pretty awesome pizzas. When's the last time he's posted? Oh yeah, he's still doing it. That was a day ago. If aliens offered me a trip to their home with no ticket back, would you go? No. As much as I'd want to, I wouldn't go. I used to watch Quantum Leap. Yep, I watched Quantum Leap. That was an awesome show. Love Amaro Pizzeria. The movie with the guy that says, "Do you want to see something really scary?" is Twilight Zone the movie. When they're in the car and they're listening to "Let the Midnight Sun Shine Its Light on Me." How do I not know who? I'm sorry, I don't know who John Robbins is. Get the hell out? No, I haven't seen that. Taiwanese zombie movie. Get the hell out. No. It's on Arlington Avenue, 5 miles from you. Definitely pick it up and tell him I sent you. He did a whole video with me. He posts me too. So let's see when the last time Amaro. Hold on, let's see. Probably a throwback with, because I went over there with Cesar and he like, I mean, these pizzas are so good. And I have a video of him, and so I'm like, do you mind if I, because he started making pizzas for us. I'm like, do you mind if I do a video? And he's like, no, sure, go ahead. And I'm like, all right. So I started asking him questions. I'm like, so how'd you learn how to make all these pizzas? And he starts laughing. He's like, I learned them from you. I learned them from your YouTube channel. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But you guys, there's a whole video of that. Me and Cesar went and ate so much, and then we got all these pizzas, and then he gave them to us. We took them on our way home. We decided, this is in the middle of the night. We pull over in a parking lot. And we're like, we ran down the parking lot. We ran back and we did a bunch of push-ups. Yeah, that was could be. But if you can find him and get some pizzas from him, definitely get some pizzas. He's got dessert pizzas. He's got breadsticks. You could even watch my video too to see exactly what he has, and how he makes it. And then get that. Well, he posts so much, so it's been a while here. Well, anyway, oh, here it is. I found it. Here we are hanging out with Amaro. That's Cesar, me, and Amaro with a bunch of pizza. We took all of that home. Cesar, the one that Cesar's holding up a little bit higher is the dessert pizza. And that's how he supports his family. So yeah, go support him if you can. It's super good stuff. Who just started a live 17 minutes ago? I'm going tomorrow. Cool. I don't know if he has his. I think he still does it out of his home though. But yeah, so just give him a call, and I think they deliver and everything. I've made dessert pizza. I've made thousands of dessert pizzas. I used to work at pizza places. Um, many years ago, 25 years ago, I used to work at Pizza Hut, and I made so many dessert pizzas. And yes, those dessert pizzas were vegan. I don't know if they've changed the recipe, but 25 years ago they were vegan. Good night, Mia. Thanks for watching. Good night, Gomez. Thank you for watching. That was Zeke. How'd you know that was Zeke? Is he angry? No, he's never angry. What was a dessert pizza? Let's see. There was a thin crust with, there was an apple one, there was a blueberry one, and there was a cherry one. And then over that, we would put like almost like a graham cracker kind of crumble over that. And then over that, when it would get out of the oven, we would take like a frosting and put the frosting on it, and then cut that up into pieces. And that was mostly during like breakfast brunch on the all-you-can-eat buffet that we would make those. And sometimes if there was extra or something, or if I made one, I would take one home, give them to my friends. He definitely heard me. No, no, actually, we're not going to do an all-nighter. We're probably going to wrap this up in a couple minutes here, because we're getting pretty late now. Oh yeah, that's how I made a lot of my recipes in the beginning. Just taking traditional recipes and veganizing them. In fact, that's how I made some of my best recipes. I'm gonna make a vegan version of this. I think that's how we learn. We just take inspiration from other things, and in my case, I veganized a lot of things that already were good. People already liked. I'm like, well, why can't I make the same thing vegan? Well, anyway, this was a nice chat with you guys. I'm glad you guys stuck around to ask me lots of questions. So I think we're gonna get going now. So thank you for the super chats, and thanks for hanging out. Everybody, stay safe. Watch out for zombies, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night.